11 minutes on short qualifying, then 9 laps, and then I forgot how many laps after that, but we'll just see. And it looks like the kick's the first one out, and that could be dead zone or reverse. It's reverse. So just in case, we'll do this. We'll do that. Lovely. And you'll have reverse, who will be the first one to start his lap. Obviously, currently on that lap at the moment. Then you will have, I believe it's Harry. Yep. Oh, never mind. Harry will be the first one to start his lap. Harry was the made his debut yesterday in Tier 2 at Silverstone. Done a really, really good job, and he was very, very quick. He was competing with Will, who is normally coming first. Ugle is now out, retired out of the session. Could have had a qualifying ban, so. And Harry is starting the lap, his first lap on mediums, so it looks like he's going to try and get the most out of these tyres. And the corner's on strict today, so we need to be careful for the turn out, the two kick and Visa Cash drivers that went through. And Harry will now take it towards the last turn on straight. And Harry will be the first one to start his lap, so we'll see what he can pull out on Tier 1 today. Deploying a lot of ERS down the straight with the DRS. And nice and easy through there. And Harry turning into turn 3. Try not to touch the grass on any part of this track because you will go flying. But just to put a little bit more ERS there as he hits the corner into turn 4. And he goes into turn 5. Nice and easy through there, keeping a lot of his momentum. Into turn 6, still no connection with the grass and keeps it on track. That's what we'll love to see. And now Harry heading onto the straight out of turn 7. 2 cars up ahead. They let him pass. Well done to those two. Now turn 8. And not cutting track limits, keeping on track. Still hasn't invalidated this lap. And there's no way he can mess this up, so he's deployed nearly all of his ERS. Hits a bit of the grass there. And to turn 11. And he slides! He's off track. Oh dear. But Harry will go straight into the pits for that. And reverse will be going into pits as well. But Harley will set a 1 minute 19.5. The next one across the track will be a Red Bull, which will be Lux Rogue with 1 minute 19.2. And there's going to be a lot more people coming around the track now. I need to find where our Tango is actually reserving in Tier 1 today, which is nice. But you'll have TK Tom setting a 1 minute 21, nearly on the dot. And then you'll have Go Sergeant hitting the low 18s of 1 minute 18.2. Roll Peck shortly following behind this teammate with 1 minute 19.1. Rogues invalidated his lap. Let's see who else is crossing track. Dead zone with 1 minute 46. However, he did mess up his lap, so that is not his official time. Tango going through. We'll stick with Tango. And Tango heading into turn 8 into turn 9. Still keeping on track. And he's got plenty of ERS to play with here. He's not going to deploy all of it though. He's got 2 yellow sectors. But the main thing is he needs to actually hit the track perfectly. And he's going to deploy a lot more ERS heading towards the checkered line. And it's going to be a 1 minute 20.5. Sending it to P5. Right behind Aston. Room for improvement, of course there is. There always is, as long as you can push your car to the limit. And now Fonzie been training all day for this track. Got a yellow sector 1. He's driving in Aston today. And he'll head into turn 8, into turn 9. Still keep it within the track limits. And Fonzie is now also trying to use manual ERS, I believe it is. He's going to deploy on this corner here with no ERS, but he's going to get a 1 minute 21.2, which is actually fairly decent for Fonzie. Fonzie took a big break from the league and just racing in general. And he's come back, seeing if he can get back into the swing of things. Staffy, Harry, and Kempy will start there. I mean, Kempy will actually be the first one to start his lap. We'll see what... Actually, hold on. Will be the next one on the track. No, he won't, will he? I don't know. No, yeah, Will be the next one round. And Will... with quite low ERS and low fuel as well, so I don't know if he's going to go in for a pit or if he's going to actually go across the line, so we'll see what happens. He got slightly off track there. Doesn't invalidate it though, so there's still plenty of time for him to get a good lap in. He's got 2 yellow sectors heading into turn 11, the very, very long turn. And does he go into the pits? He doesn't. He's staying out on track. He's going to commit to the lap. He's going to get a 1 minute 19.7. P7. P6, sorry. Next, we have Kempy. He's got 2 yellow sectors as well. Very, very low on ERS as well. ERS management could be really bad for Kempy at the moment. And Kempy sending the last remaining bit of his ERS. He's going to get a 1 minute 19.4, which is going to send him a P4 alongside his teammate, which is Lux Rogue. Will now retire from the session. And the next one across the track will be... that'll be Staffy now. And Staffy's 2 yellow sectors, I think. Yep, 2 yellow sectors. He's going to set a 1 minute 20.7. Which is fairly decent for Staffy. And the next one on the track will be Legolas now. And Legolas keeping a lot of his ERS. Probably ideal for the straight coming up and the straight towards a checkered line. That's what matters most. Legolas, a very seasoned driver. Does very well in league races. Heads into turn 7. Keeping it within track limits. He's going to deploy some ERS and DRS down the straight. He's going to keep half his ERS for the remaining straight. Now he goes into turn 8. And keeping it well within track limits there. And nicely on the track there. His car up ahead, so we'll keep an eye on our car. That is a Red Bull. And he's going to start flaming the rest of the ERS down here. And he's going to ease the car around turn 11. And with the remaining ERS that he kept, he's going to go across the line with 1 minute 19.67 P7. Taking that spot from Will. And reverse now on an out lap. He is on medium compound. So he might be looking to make these tyres last for a few laps to see if he can warm them up on the second lap. But Alfie has now split the 2 Ferrari drivers that were once P1 and 2, and now he has pushed down Ropek to P3. We're going to see if this is going to interfere with Ferrari's game plan. Ropek last race at Singapore done absolutely outstanding. There was a lot of questionable driving. However, Singapore is a really rough track, not just for this league, but for everyone as well. And reverse invalidates his lap. This is the turn that you need to be careful of. That'll be turn 9, I believe that is. So be very, very careful. Cut too much, you could invalidate your lap there. But reverse seemed to struggle at the moment with his lap. But this could go hand in hand because his tyres should now be warmed up. Hmm. Okay. Not too sure what happened there. We'll stay on board with Benke because reverse has actually invalidated his lap. So we'll stick on with Benke now. Benke giving the Mercedes room to move as they're out on a lap. And I believe that might be Tango. No, it might be Staffy. Is it Staffy or is it Tango? Staffy. Staffy's on that lap. Same with Benke. And for the most part, the grid has remained the same. I think Fonzie has actually improved his lap time a little bit, so that's going to be some good news for Fonzie. And still invalidated lap for the race. And Go Sergeant with a new fastest lap time of 1 minute 18.69. These numbers are getting more sus by the day. Go Sergeant has retired. Fairly confident that no one is going to be this time. Ah. The session has basically ended. Well, the remaining drivers on the grid have to make the most of this lap that they have now. With Staffy actually improving Sector 1 with a green bit. Sector 2, what's this going to be? But there's two Mercedes drivers. That'll be Tango ahead of Staffy. Are they both improving? This is the thing, because Staffy now has 2 green zones. And this is going to be vital for Staffy. Kempy goes up into P7. And Tango's going to allow Staffy to get past, which is really good at Tango. And Staffy goes wide. This could be bad for the Mercedes driver. Staffy has improved a little bit, but I don't think he got a position. But the two Mercedes, P12 and P13, this could go in their favour if they play the cards right. Screenshot quickly. Tom, where's your DMs? Boom. And I need to go here. I need to scroll down. And I need to screenshot that. There we go. Done. Here's a quick second to see which I'm recording still. I am. But we'll have the formation up now. Go Sergeant just absolutely taking off from everyone. Take it, Tom disqualified and Staffy are disqualified. They'll be getting sent back to the grid. Not a good start for them too. Oh, we got it disconnected. I think BC Law's disconnected, Tom. Picking and inviting back. But the grid now will form up. BC Lol, I think he disconnected. He was in ghost mode for the whole lap, basically. Not too sure why. And the last remaining drivers are going to line up on the grid. They need to make the most of what they have now. There's been 3 disqualifications. Legolas, TK, Tom, and Staffy. And here we are at Monza. The 5 lights are going to shine red. Then they're going to go green. And 5 lights. And away we go. Here we go. Round 11, Monza, Tier 1 Hyperdrive Racing League. And there's already what it takes. Basically all over the grid. People off the track already. And everyone going into turn 1. And there's a lot of connections. And there's people off the track. The Ferrari is now being spun over. And there's still people going wheel to wheel. TK Tom dead last. And now we have battles all over the grid. This is going to be super hard for me to cover. But Go Sergeant was once first. Now went down to P6. I think there's been a bit of a collision here. And Ropek now trailing right behind the 2 Ferraris, right behind the back of the grid. Alfie takes first. Lux Rogue becomes third. And Benke now becomes third. Sorry, Rogue second and Benke third. Will shortly following behind them. And Rogue now. RF dead zone. Look at that. Staffy in point range and Legolas are now battling wheel to wheel. Heading to turn 11. Legolas is going to secure that spot. But there's been a connection and Staffy has now lost his M plate on his wing. That'll be wing damage for Staffy and he's been pushed off the track. And Staffy just joins up in the track again. What is going on? But Logs Rogue and Becky now wheel to wheel. And they're going wheel to wheel through to turn 1. They're still wheel to wheel. This is absolutely amazing. But Rogue comes out on top. Secures P2 again and defends his position. Will shortly behind, chasing them down like a rabid wolf. Will managing to regain control of the vehicle. But Kempy now taking P5. Kempy off to a thunderous start. Overtakes Harry. And Ugly right behind Harry as well. I mean, the whole grid is just right behind each other. Go Sergeant now going to go wheel to wheel with Ugly. He's going to try to secure that spot. He's on the racing line. And heavy on the brakes. There's a bit of a spin nearly there from Harry. And now Harry's going to lose a lot of positions. Harry did crash out. Ugly is still managing to keep up with the Ferrari, keeping a lot of pace on him. And CT Tango is going to take a position from Ropek to put Staffy down even more. It looks like Tango is going to try and carry Staffy if Staffy doesn't pick up his pace. But Harley really putting his foot down on the floor right now in the Aston, pushing Aston to the limit. And he's going to get some time on there. And Stag once was catching up, but I think there was a bit of a collision there. But Ropek now going to take the P11 from Tango. Tango's not out of the race yet. He's still going to try and get P11 from Ropek. Ropek at any point could mess up. And the grid's starting to split up a hell of a lot more. There's been a yellow sector, and I believe there's been a crash out, so expect a safety car any moment from now. And Tango's going to lose a lot of time, but Rogue and Alfie now going at it. There might have been a bit of a collision there. Hardy will pick up a penalty. Dead Zone will now pick up a penalty point. Will now take P3. Alfie not out of the battle yet. Challenging Will for the position. Still now ghost mode somehow. I'm not too sure. Oh, he's because he left the session. But reverse was slowly creeping up to Legolas. Hold on, but Ghost Sergeant's now going to overtake Kempy. They're going wheel to wheel into turn one. How is this going to play out? Who will come out on top? It looks like Ghost Sergeant's going to get a position. And he's going to take a position from Alfie as well, due to him being in Ghost. And Ropek is slowly creeping up behind Legolas. But he's out of ERS, so it looks like it's going to start losing time. And Kempy still not giving up. Ghost Sergeant goes into P3 from Will. And now Kempy right behind Ugly. He's going to have him on the DRS straight if he keeps using next few corners. Perfect. Very low on DRS. Going to activate the DRS. Is he going to be able to get the position from Ugly? And low on DRS. Kempy still challenging into turn 8. And Kempy gets a position. It's all over, but Kempy's off track. And Kempy will now lose 2 positions to Harry and Ugly, who puts him down in P8. Now Ropek challenging, and there's been a bit of a swerve from Kempy. And now reverse will lose an M plate due to that, and I believe a wing. But Ropek now chasing down Legolas. And there's been a bit of a swerve again, but Ropek now will pick up a penalty from that. And Kempy and extra reverse now battling. Kempy looking to go on the right side. There's been a bit of a lock up from reverse. Can Kempy capitalise on it? Kempy looking to cut down that time, but he really needs to start saving his ERS because it's going to hinder him now. He really needs to build that ERS back up. And Ropek is really trying to push his Ferrari to try and catch his teammate who's in P3. Alfie trying to cut down the time to Sergeant. And this is where Teddy's more strongest on the straight, evidently. And the kick will go off the track slightly. Kempy looking to capitalise on the same part of the track again. However, he runs out of ERS, which is going to hinder him. And Kempy doesn't get him here, but there's plenty of attempts to get him here because Kempy has managed to take enough ERS and the wheel to wheel, but the kick driver once again managing his ERS and able to take off from Kempy. And Harley slowly coming up behind Will, still also low on ERS. And it doesn't look like it's going to have an effect before he gets to the corner. But Will goes to the right side and allows the position to be taken. But now they're going wheel to wheel through turn 1 into turn 2. And very clean racing from these two. Will and Harry still in the battle. Will come out on top of that for now. But now we have a Haas driver, Ugly, who will now try and take a position. It's a three-way battle for P5. And Ugly is still wheel to wheel with Will. He will win that position. And Will is slowly creeping up on him again. Still going to be within DRS zone. And heavy on the brakes here. It's going to cost him a lot of time. Nearly out of DRS zone. He's not going to have enough ERS to catch up on this straight. Go Sargent with a 3-second time penalty too. But extra race now going wheel to wheel into turn here. And it's been a bit of a collision. And there's another collision. Now Tango in point range. Legolas now chasing Tango down. And Kempy as well. Still low on ERS. Needs to start building ERS up. He's got plenty of time. He's within point range. And Sargent now goes second. Rogue looking to really capitalise on this and try and get into the corner. He just cuts the corner completely. He got a warning for that. And he hits the grass. And now Teddy Kempy is off track again. Well done, Teddy. You're letting them pass. Well done, mate. And now the two Mercedes, Tango and Staffy, within point range, looking to capitalise on the mistake that Kempy made. And Staffy right behind Tango. The ideal move for here for Staffy would be to hold back the back of the grid to try and give Tango more room to play with. And you can see the penalties are now racking up a hell of a lot more. Staffy is using a lot of ERS here. And it looks like Tango is going to go for a manoeuvre on turn 8. And he's going to win that manoeuvre straight away. Tango picks up a penalty. I don't know when that was, but he has picked up a penalty. Legolas now trying to cut down the time to Tango. Staffy's still behind. The Mercedes now both split. And Legolas now going wheel to wheel with the McLaren. Not McLaren, the Mercedes. And now Ropek climbing the ranks. Now battling Staffy for P10. And Staffy will now regain P10. Going into turn 1. 4 cars now wheel to wheel. And Staffy will back out of that one and give Ropek a bit more room. But now due to that error, a Kick driver is now going into the battle. This is now a 5-man battle between Kick, Mercedes and Ferrari, and now McLaren. They are all sending it down into turn 4. And it's been another collision from Staffy. And this Kick driver looking to capitalise on this. And he's going to go really going inside. He hits a bit of the grass. Staffy not pushed off track, but not given much room to work with. And they're still going wheel to wheel. Staffy goes off track again. And this is a battle between these two, the Kick and the Mercedes. And it looks like Staffy's going to win this battle. Staffy is still with no end plate. Might need to get that replaced. But Tango has now been pushed up to P10. Ropek has took P9. And Kempy climbing the ranks again. Ugly overtakes Harley from P6 into P5. Teddy goes from P13 to P12. Now it looks like he's going to try and chase Staffy down like a rabid wolf. BC Law now climbing the ranks, overtaking Dead Zone. And Ropek is right behind Tango. Really wanting P9, really wanting to secure more points. And he's got barely any ERS, but he's going to go on the right side of Tango. And now it's going to be a wheel-to-wheel battle. Well, it was. And Ropek backing out of that one. Very sensible, Ropek. Well done. And Ropek is going to be within DRS range of Tango. And Tango will be within DRS range of Legolas. And he's going to deploy his ERS and DRS. Harley now takes P5 from Ugly, pushing Ugly down where he was before. But now Benke and Alfie going wheel to wheel, heading towards the checkered line. Still wheel to wheel. And Alfie low on fuel. This is a bit concerning for Alfie. Oh, never mind. It was lap 9. I thought that was the main race. That felt like a main race due to how intense that was. That was insane. I thought that was the main race. That was intense, bro. What the hell? Lads, that was amazing. That was actually sick. Well done. I know those penalties, but lads, that was sick by the way he was just done. That was absolutely amazing. I legit thought that was the main race. That was only the sprint. Nah, you're good, Harley, mate. You gave so much battles the same as all the grid. That was amazing. Well done, everyone. That was amazing. I'm so excited for this next part, though. This is going to be absolutely insane. Starg is now trying to catch up, heading towards the check line. He's going to cross the lane. Finally. Lads, that was amazing, by the way. Honestly, those 9 laps were so intense. Were filled with so much action. Well done to you all. That was amazing. Right, let me get I don't know if Tom needs these screenshots, but I'm going to get them either way. And one. And 8. And 2. I don't know if you need them, Tom. They just say if you need them. Oh, shit. Oh, got the first one for you. Don't know what that was. I just taken screenshots. Don't know what they are. I retire since I got rewind damage and due to that spin into the wall. No, it's alright. Well, don't worry about it. Mate, you've done really well, though. Keep it up, man. Please stop calling me Daddy Tom. He's is flipping weird. Wait, Connor's starting 4th? In what universe? In what universe? Huh? Okay. Well, I guess well done. Oh, it's quality. Oh. Alright, okay. No need to ruin that. I got excited there. Yeah, that sprint was insane, bro. That was crazy. And who will be the first one out on that lap? It'll be Harry again. Whew. Honestly, I legit thought that was the main race. I'm so baffled, but now I know what I expect from the main race. That's too quiet for now. That really took energy out of us. Holy shit. League name. The league name's Hyperdrive Racing League. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly get the link for you if you want to join it. It's always, yeah. And I'm going to send that in the chat. There you go. If you want to join the Racing League, there you go. Tier 2 seats available. But now Harry's going to be the first one to cross the line in main qualifying after sprint race. Got 2 cars exiting the pits. And here we go, heading to turn 1 right now. He's going to keep a lot of his speed. Very nicely done from Harry. Harry was also the first one out on track before the sprint race. Can't be left. Into turn 6, flicking the car into the corner. And now he's going to activate his ERS and DRS. Just absolutely flying the car into what will be turn 8. Keeping it nice within track limits. And he's going to deploy more ERS. He's low on fuel. He's going to probably pit this lap. And flicks it into turn 11 along the long and unforgiving bend. Keeps it still within track limits. We're using the remaining ERS. And Harry's going to set a 1 minute 19.5 the first lap of the race. And you will have a Red Bull behind him, which will be Lux Rogue with 1 minute 19.80 on the dot. And after Rogue will be another Red Bull, I believe. Maybe not. It'll be the kick driver. No. Maybe Staffy with 1 minute 20.2. And after that's an Aston, that might be Fonzie, I believe. Nope, he started his lap. I don't know who's where. Right, so we've got off dead zone. Who's up ahead? That'll be Stag, who's on an actual lap. Right, so it'll be Stag next, I think. No, it won't. But you'll have Roadpeck with 1 minute 19.2 as well. Earlier 1 minute 19.3. Harley with 1 minute 19.4. Harry 1 minute 19.5. And Staffy 1 minute 20.2. Who will be the next one to cross the line? We'll stick on board a dead zone. He has got 2 yellow sectors. And Kemp will have to gain. There you go. And he will use a lot of his ERS on this straight dead zone. He will into turn 11, flicking the car in, slightly hitting the grass. Is this going to affect his grip? It doesn't look like it affected it too much. But now he's going to deploy the remainder of his ERS. And that will set him to 1 minute 19.8. Send him to P6 above Staffy. And Fonzie now heading towards the final turn. 2 yellow sectors. Will now get a 1 minute 21.8. And now the rest of the grid has either pitted or is now an outlap. And Gerv will now join us, who will be the second McLaren driver. Nice to see you back in the league, Gerv. And Tango now on an outlap. Who is ahead of him? That'll be Sargent, so we'll go Sargent next. And Sargent now crosses the lane. Sargent was the pole position. Probably still will be pole position this qualifying as well. And absolutely high in the car at turn 1 and 2. And now he's going to give a bit of a wheel spin just out that turn, but deploy a lot of ERS down here, I'm assuming. Into turn 3, heading towards turn 4. No cars behind him. And he's going to flick that car into turn 4 and into turn 5. And still with 59 ERS remaining, building every corner. And just absolutely flicking the car in every corner, completely abusing that, but it's working. And now he's going to deploy DRS and ERS a little bit, just a little bit. And he's going to purple sector 2. He's going to get a yellow sector 1. And he just absolutely flying around the track like a soaring eagle. And with barely no ERS remaining, he's going to just save a bit for the final turn. Flicking into turn 11 and just completely, absolutely flying through that turn. And now he's going to use the remainder of his ERS, and he will get a whopping 1 minute 18.4. And it looks like he might be satisfied with that, but he mightn't be done yet. Next person on the track will be Tango, who gets a 1 minute 21.80 on the dot. He will take P10 from Fonzie, securing points for Mercedes so far. Still time for him to be pushed down. And now Gerv will start his lap. And Gerv using a lot of ERS around here. There's 2 cars up ahead. One gives way and one is turning the corner into turn 4 as well. And Gurv flicking the car into turn 4 and 5. And sending it straight into turn 6. Keeping it within track limits. And the car up ahead will be also a Mercedes, so they'll need to watch out for Gurv as he's on his first unofficial lap. And he's very low on ERS heading into turn 8. And Gurv's going to back out of that lap because he realises that he's invalidated his lap. That's unfortunate for Gurv. It looked like he was on a complete run there. But next, Stag is the next one to start his lap. Or is it Alfie? No, it'll be Stag next. And Stag, a tier 2 driver, done really well yesterday. New also a wheel, sorry. So he'll be looking to really focus and improve on that. Goes very wide into turn 9, not using that corner as much. And he's very low on ERS. He's going to really put his foot down on the ERS, completely depleting it almost for this straight. 2 yellow sectors. And he completely flicks the car to turn 11, keeping a lot of speed. And Stag's time will be a 1 minute 21.80 on the dot, taking him to P11, and that'll push Tango down at a P12, Barnes into 13. But next, Teddy will be the Kempy, will be the next one to do his lap. He's got a yellow sector 1. He's just easing the car slightly into the turns, but he's very low on ERS, which is a little bit concerning because we've never seen Teddy use this much ERS on these straights and turns. And Teddy is still not validating his lap, heading into turn 10. And this is where it's going to be a little bit worrying because he only has 10 ERS remaining. And he's going to have to really stop the play around about now because he has completely depleted it. And Teddy keeping a lot of the speed that he had, and he's going to now deploy more ERS. And this is going to send Teddy to a 1 minute 19.6, pushing reverse down to P10 and putting Kempy into P9. And Gurv will be the next one on his outlap. And for the most part, a lot of the grid has set their time, apart from the remaining 5. And Gurv flicking the car into turns. I don't know. My turns have magically broke. I need to see if I can fix it. Turns aren't working. And Alfie heading into turn 11, still not deploying any ERS. Oh, he's on that lap. That's why it's not turned on. And Gurv will now deploy a lot of ERS and DRS heading down this main straight into turn 1 and 2. And heavy on the brakes. Slightly sliding into the corner, and Gurv, this might have messed up his lap. And Gurv isn't deploying any ERS down here, so I think he might end up backing out of the lap. Ah, it sucks, Harley. Keep trying, you'll get there. And into turn 6, Gurv will go. There's been a bit of a slide there from Gurv. And now he's going to deploy DRS, but no ERS. So I think maybe he's backing out of this lap for now. And the next lap is when he's going to start. Benke is out on an outlap, so when he starts his lap, I will go to him. Nice long fuel curve. He's going to go on for a bit. If he stays out, I'll be shocked. Yep. And now Benke looking to set a faster lap than the remaining people in front of him from P16 to P10. And Benke just guiding the cars into turn 1 and 2. And he's putting his foot to the floor and using a lot of the ERS here on turns 3 heading into 4. Yellow sector 1. Decent start for Benke. Keeping the car within track limits heading into turn 6. This is where it's most important. Flicks the car into turn 6. Now we will do the same into turn 7. And now he's going to deploy more ERS before the DRS zone. And now he's going to deploy DRS heading into turns 8 and 9. Heading into 8. Still within track limits. Into turn 10. Within track limits. This is it. Benke looking to set a decent time. Deploying a lot of his ERS down here. Going to save some ERS for the remaining straight. Heading towards the checker lane. Through 11. Keeping out of his speed. And Benke looking across the line with 1 minute 18. 18.7 taking it to P2. That pushes down Rogue to P3. Now the question is, can Benke take position 1 from Sargent? He's not far off. There's a possibility though. And now the remainder of the grid. 4 people remaining to set a lap time. Gerv, BC Lol, Will and TK Tom. And we haven't been on board Staffy yet, but there has been a minor improvement on his lap time. He was initially on 1 minute 20.220, now pushed it down to almost 1 minute 20 on the dot. Can Staffy now improve on this lap? Staffy's going to cross the line to start his lap. He's deploying ERS, but no DRS, but no ERS. And he's going to go into the turn, go a little bit wide. He's going to lose a lot of speed here. Now he deploys a bit of ERS. Benke does get a warning. And Staffy looking to go into turn 4 and flick the car in. Looks very stiff. Flicks straight up on the camera. Into turn 6. He does hit the grass a bit, but that's good. This could go in his favour. Green sector 1. Do not back out now. Car off up ahead. Keep pushing, Ross, if you've got a green sector 1. Got a yellow sector 2 though. And now Staffy deploying a bit more ERS, heading out of that corner. Yellow sector 2, green sector 1. He's now going to deploy more ERS, heading towards the turn 11. And he goes flying into turn 11, keeping a lot of his speed. This is the moment. Can Staffy improve his lap time? With a 1 minute 9, he doesn't improve, unfortunately. He was off to a promising start though. And now we'll head back on Gerv. Gerv on an out lap. Harry does retire in P9. Comfortable position for Harry. Gerv letting someone past. Dead zone road tire in P12. Gerv now crosses the line officially on his lap. Gerv has to make the most of this lap right now. Now into turn 1. Goes very, very deep on that curb there. Could that benefit him? Sector 1 hasn't come up yet. It's a green sector, it's a yellow sector. And he glides a car into turn 3 and 4. Heading into turn 6. And so far so good from Gerv, who was season 1 champion. And he's deployed a lot of ERS down here. And Gerv flicking the car into turns 9 and 10. Kemby retires. This is looking promising for Gerv. Saving a lot of his ERS. And absolutely sending it through turn 11. He's low on fuel. He's going to deploy a lot more ERS. And he's going to get a 1 minute 18.7, taking him to P4, pushing Benke down into 5 and Lux Rogue into 6. And Rogue is on an outlap, but I don't think he's going to be able to get a time done. I think he's already actually thingied it. He's invalidated, I think. And there we have it. Go Sergeant from 1 minute 18 nearly on the dot to 1 minute 17.9. Absolutely making a statement yet again. Pole position for Go Sergeant. Scroll down. Do that. And do that. Sorry about that, I've just hit the microphone. Right, awesome. Sorry, we're celebrating. Don't know what I was celebrating. No worries, Rogue. Don't worry about, man. There's a formation, Laparini. Tom, you're calling me daddy and now you call me uncle. What the fuck? I'm bored. I'm not going to ask any questions. Just to confirm, I'm still recording on her. Yeah, I am. Oh, shit. And it'll be a formation lap, so no overtaking on formation lap. Go in formation, please. Please, please, please. Right, awesome. There's no overtaking so far. Never mind, there was. I think that's Alfie. It is Alfie, you son of a gun. Meow. Jesus, these slowpokes are right at the back. Pardon me. And already we have 3 disqualifications. That will be Legolas, that's a bit weird. Oogly and Kempy. And Sergeant will now be the first one to line up on the grid, making sure them tyres are as warmed up as you can get them. Which I just noticed I need to do that. And Sergeant actually gets disqualified, just slightly goes over the line. And Benki looking at me as having a good start. Never mind. Alfie with a good start. Harley with a good start as well. Yeah, with a good start. Looks wrong. For some reason, they're playing ERS on the finish start line. Good start for Rogue. Good start for Reverse. And Harry with a good start. Reverse with a good start. Staffy and the remainder of the grid. Benki is still left to go on the line. And here we go. Everyone's lined up on the grid. 5 lights. Turn red. Lights out and away we go. Here we go. Sprint race weekend. Monza Tier 1 Highway Drive Racing League. And already there's cars mounting each other. This is not appropriate. Keep your activities out like that outside the league. Staffy off track. And there's a red bull in the barrier. What is going on? And Fonzie out of the race already. And a lot of the grid still scrambling around at the back, even from the mid-table. And you've got Harley and Oogly now battling. Still go wheel to wheel into turn 7. And they're still wheel to wheel, but Oogly now will take that position. Now Legolas trying to contest Harley for P8. Tango into P9. Staffy with a penalty, but Staffy is also replying. He will overtake his teammate. Who else we got? We've got BC Law. These two in Ghost. What's going on? And now Teddy is losing time to a Ghost. And who the hell is that? And now Ropek will take P11. Harry goes down to P12. Staffy is still within P10. Tango actually now is in the pits. I think it got damage. And just look at this carnage at the back. Teddy and Will now battling. Will's in ghost mode. What's going on? And a lot of the grid becoming split up with the remaining 3 at the back that originally pitted. Kempy now takes over TK Tom. He's now battling, trying to get within point range. Staffy has actually a penalty, and that will be a 10-second time penalty. Oh dear. So realistically, he is where TK Tom is. He's got to really gap the grid. But Extraverse is now creeping up on Lux Rogue. And he's really deploying down here. Go Sergeant will get the fastest lap. And then whoever that is will get a fastest lap. That is part of the Haas. And maybe Benke. But Reverse will get an overtake there on Rogue. And now get the overtake on Gerv. What an overtake from reverse, but now reverse lose that position to Rogue. And Harley will now capitalise on the overtake on Girv, pushing the two McLarens back together. P8 and P9 for the McLarens. Harley now goes to P7. And now Benke is now chasing down Alfie. And these two are going on. Girv now will take P7 and Harley are now battling. These two wheel to wheel through turn 7. Harley goes off track and Girv's now going to capitalise on that. But Legolas looking to exploit that off track there from Harley. And he's still chasing him down. But Legolas will back out of that turn 8 overtake. Legolas still looking to get them. And he could have him on the straight. All he's got to do is to play RS. And Legolas starting to cut down time now, but he's not going to have him here, but he'll have him on the DRS and the RS straight. But hold on, reverse is now challenging Rogue again in the same position, and this time he's going to get a clear overtake. And now he's going to be with Benke and Alfie, who are now a wheel to wheel into turn 2. Really clean from these two. It is literally a 5-man battle for these positions up ahead. Ugley trailing behind. Looks Rogue is now chasing down Reverse. Reverse is chasing down Alfie, and Alfie is chasing down Benke. Goes Sergeant with a 3-second gap, comfortably leading the race. Tango will take P16 from Harry. And Rogue really pushing the car. Very low on ERS, so he needs to be careful for that for the next straight. But he is building it back up. And now Girv will overtake Harley, and Harley going wheel to wheel into turn 9 and 10. And the two McLarens are still together. Girv is really pushing the car, but ERS is low. Stag gets a corner cutting warning. And Girv is going to look to exploit Harley's disadvantage here. And there's no ERS on Girv's behalf, but Girv is still looking to overtake. And now they're wheel to wheel heading towards turns 1 and 2. Girv will overtake, and the McLaren behind, which is Legolas, is now looking to overtake Harley. And there is so much overtaking going on just in turns 1 and 2. Legolas still chasing down Harley. And now BC Lol, who is ghosted, so I don't care about that one. And now Harley goes off track, and there is a McLaren stopped in the middle of the track. I believe there's been a bit of a connection. That'll be Girv, who has been connected with. And that pushes the McLaren out of point range. Staffy back into point range. Well, technically because of this penalty. And now Rogue is slowly catching up to Ugley, the Haas teammate of Benke. And now Ropek is catching up to Legolas as well. And Rogue is trying to maintain a lot of the speed going through turns 11 back towards the checkered line. Harry's going to retire, and there's a safety car deployed. That is a full course safety car. And now what this will do is this is going to bring the grid back together. Question is, did Harry retire on track? And now Staffy is looking to save his penalty through here. And TK Tom will take P13 from Teddy. Can't be even. And Girv will now take P13. And these cars will come at the pits now. Staffy still has his 10 second. The pit has not served it from, which is a little concerning. And now we will wait for the grid to catch up. And Staggering Dead Zone will now... Staggering Dead Zone will now pit... Oh, sorry, said I crashed into entry 1405. No worries, buddy. Don't worry about it. You don't... Tier 1's quite hard, so don't worry about it. Tier 2 is your main focus. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, Harry, mate. You're doing really well as well. But just focus on Tier 2 for now. Tier 1's like a really competitive area to be in, so you've actually done well. And Go Sergeant Benke are now going to sim with Alfie, Ugly, Legolas. Now goes into P1. I'll be wing damage is getting. Legolas now leading the race under safety car though. And you can see a lot of the grid now starting to come in to turns. That'll be turns 4 and 5. So they are slowly starting to catch up. Yeah, mate. It's not very accurate. This thing I've got on screen. They do need to update it, but Yeah, I'm not too sure what this is Martin for. And safety car within this lap. Will is now P1. VCLR goes P2 and Ghost Sergeant goes P3. Will's in Ghost for me and I don't know why he is. And the safety car is in the pits now. Racing's going to resume. Alfie CM gets the overtake on Benke, but Benke applies. Now Lux Rogue in the mix, going to P4. And a lot of the cars again scrambling. And this car is pushed off the track. Tango was P12, capitalizes on it very well. And Staffy is stuck. Oh no. What I say? Lux Rogue back into P3, Sergeant into second, and Will into first. Benke chasing down, but Alfie now is right behind. Alfie is now behind Benke. DRS hasn't been deployed in this lap, but now Harley will overtake BC Lol, and Will now go P3. And there's wing damage again for what looks to be an Aston or a kick. And now Benke is chasing down the Ghost, so Will. I'm still not sure why he's in Ghost. Now Ugly trying to contest Legolas for P8. Alfie will now go to P4. And Ropek goes into P10. Now he secures points for Ferrari. Well, more points that is. And Legolas will now overtake BC Lon Ugly. But now Legolas takes P8. And Stag and TK Tom battling. The kick driver right behind TK Tom. And now TK Tom wins that battle between Stag. Dead Zone now still in the mix, and he is right behind Stag. And it's a 3-way battle for P14. And the wheel to wheel. Dead Zone, wheel to wheel with Stag. And Dead Zone off track. And Stag will capitalize on that. And now reverse will overtake Will, the Ghost to at least. And Ropek was catching to Ugly. In fact, he is catching. And Ropek's ERS management has gotten significantly better over the last few races. And Ropek is now going to be within DRS range, still deploying his ERS, now going to completely deplete it. And he's looking to get that racing lane. He secures the racing lane from Ugly. That's going to take Ropek to P6. Now all he has to do is chase down Harley, which is 2 seconds ahead of him. And now Kempy is chasing down the Ghost of Will, and he will really, he was going to beat the Ghost. And Legolas is now chasing down Reverse, who is a second behind Ugly. And Legolas is really trying to chop down his time. And He's going to be within DRS. He's still got plenty of ERS to deploy down here. And he won't have them, unfortunately. Not even on the next straight, I don't think. Staffy overtakes dead zone. But his penalties could save him really bad here. And Staffy will have a 10-second. So he will have P10. And actually, he'll have P... You'll actually have P15. But Benke really chopping down the time to Rogue. Going into turns 1 and 2. This is where most of the battles happened in the sprint. And Benke's ERS is really good. Like, he's at a really comfortable spot at the moment. We'll come back to them because Ropek is now chopping down the time for Ugley. But yet again, he's depleted all his ERS. But Gerv is right behind his teammate Legolas. And Gerv will have the overtake here on Legolas if Legolas allows it. And he does. Gerv goes to P9. Legolas goes to P10. Ropek will now take P6 from Ugley. And Ugley is looking for a reply. But now Benke, he's cutting down time on Rogue. Going into turn 11. And he's started gaining a bit more time there. But what Rogue doesn't know is that Benke has a lot more ERS to play with. And now it is a 5-car battle again for P2 from Rogue. All the cars join the battle. All with a penalty that could save him badly. And now the top of the grid are starting a battle. This is the ultimate showdown between these 5. And Benke is right behind Rogue again. He seems to be catching up, but then he loses a lot of time. But is this the time when Benke manages to secure P2? And it looks like he's going to battle him into turns 8. Rogue backs out. Cuts a lot of the track there, but Rogue will get P2 and get an advantage off that. And Benke is still within the battle. I don't know why he's not deploying down here. It's really annoying. And now Benke looking to reply. Still not deploying, but he's now within DRS and he's gonna make a reply to Rogue. But Alfie looking to join the mix into turns 1 and 2. And because this is still a 4-way battle. But Rogue will now be spanned by Harley, who will gain the advantage to P4. And now it's Alfie and Benke now battling for P2. But Staffy is now going to P11. And Ugley will now go for a pit. And Kempe is actually starting to cut some time down on Gerv. Kempe's going to be within DRS range. Kempe needs to be aware that he's using a lot of ERS and he's losing time. And now a lot of the grid has actually shifted around, so there's not much battles to watch. So I'll stick with Alfie. And Alfie will now go for a pit. Harley will now take P3. No worries, sorry. Staffy now into P9. There's a 10-second penalty on Staffy, so he could be right back down to where he originally was. And Oogly battling the two ghosts. Still not sure where they're ghosts for. And now Go's going to join the battle for P5. Kemi's still slowly trailing behind. Benki will now take P1. Farley will go to P2. And Ropek will now go to P3. Go into P4 and Kemi to P5. And Alfie to P8. He's going to get the overtake. And TK Tom at P7. Who's seeing that coming? And Alfie giving TK Tom plenty of room. Will secure P7. Rogue now goes to P9. Soon to P8. And Rogue, actually for the first time in the race, not having any ERS. Bit concerning. And he's going to be within DRS range of TK Tom. And he's still going to have DRS. He's going to capitalise on a mistake that TK Tom made. And this is when the battle between Alfie and Rogue begins. And Alfie is starting to cut down time. TK Tom. TK Tom was once P7, now P9, soon to be P10. And Staffy will go just barely into P2, turn 11. Staffy was very good to recover that there. And there's no luck yet. Heavy on the brakes. Really turning that. And TK Tom will now get a penalty for that. Oh. And Staffy hunting down the ghost of Rogue. Can Staffy capitalise on Rogue's disconnection? Staffy goes wide in that turn, but he regains control. Staffy, ooh, nearly a spin there from Staffy. And Staffy's going to have the DRS on TK Tom. This is crucial. And Staffy with the overtake. Stag with the DNF. And Staffy will back out there. And that's a VSC. That is a virtual safety car. And dead zones out as well. Okay. And Staffy shoots it at P6 with his 10-second time penalty. Very heavy on the brakes there. Oh, careful, careful, careful. And DRS is now enabled. Gave will capitalise off that start. Kempy's now chasing down. Ooh, Rogue with the penalty. And Rogue retired. That's a crash from Rogue, that. Not going to be a safety car. And Teddy looking to get the overtake at turn 8. Very risky work. Staffy goes off track. And Teddy gets P6 from Staffy. And now Go Sergeant will capitalise on Harley's pit, taking it to P2. Ropek now hunting down Kempy. And Ropek really pushing the car to its limits. And he's going to get the overtake and capitalise. These two both low on ERS. And Kempy looking to reply with no ERS. But these two cars, the Ferrari and Red Bull, seem to have a similar setup, which is going to cost them to stay where they are originally. And Kempy still looking for a reply. Kempy deploying ERS on this little tiny straight. And he's going to deploy again, going to be within DRS range. And he's out of ERS. His luck is out for this corner. Kempy, you need to build your ERS, not use it all. That'll be the ghost well. And now Benke is going to go for a pit, and Go Sergeant now will lead the race. And I believe that's with the new fastest lap time. And now Harley hunting down Alfie. Harley's had an amazing race, the same as Alfie. It's just been recovery after recovery after recovery race. Teddy's still looking for that reply for Ropek, but we'll tune back into Teddy soon. TK Tom will now go to P10 in secure points. And we'll double check his penalties because he has a 9-second, Staff is a 13-second. So that is going to put TK Tom in a clear. And you can see here, Kempy's still looking for a reply and still not building the RS. He really needs to build it. Like, what is he doing? And now a lot of the grid just completely split apart. But hold on, Benke chasing down Harley. Benke with no penalties. And Harley in the barrier. Harley has completely binned it into the barrier. Gerv is going to capitalise on this. The battle for third is between Gerv and Benke. Heavy on the brakes, Benke is. And Gerv easing the car through into turns 1 and 2. And Benke with the purple sector 1, very promising. And Benke's beginning to cut down his time a lot more. The next straight is when you're going to see an overtake. Benke right behind Alfie. And Benke might deploy your S down here, but will he? Because he's going to have the overtake regardless. Purple sector 1, green sector 2. This could be the fastest lap of the race with an overtake involved. And Benke flicks into the corner to turn 11. Sending him to the checkered line. Is this the fastest lap of the race? That is the fastest lap of the race by Benke, 1 minute 20.7 with a sprinkle of overtake. But Alfie now looking for a reply, because Alfie is going to try and go wheel to wheel, but he doesn't have enough momentum to guide him through turn 1 and 2. And the battle is basically with these two now, as a lot of the grid is split, and Staffy is cutting down time with someone actually. So if it cuts down a lot more, we'll be going there. But Alfie now gets P2 and secures the racing line. Benke now looking for a reply. These two have been going at it all race. And Benke still managing to stay on the tail of Alfie. I mean, he's quite literally attached to Alfie in this race. And now Benke's going to deploy DRS down here. He's going to try and gain some more time before he goes for the overtake, like he did in the last lap. And flicks into turn 8. Keeps it nice and clean on track. And now he's going to look to get this overtake down before turn 11. And I don't think he's going to get it, unfortunately. But he's still within DRS range after this. And Benke's still within DRS range. Is he going to be able to cut down the time before turns 1 and 2? I don't think he's going to be able to, unfortunately. It's going to be a risky one. And he doesn't, unfortunately, but the next time is his. And Staffy is right behind TK Tom again. There's a three-way battle. Harley, Staffy and TK Tom for P9. Staffy going to go try and go inside on turn 11. Doesn't secure it again. But he's going to deploy his ERS before the checker line and get DRS. What an amazing maneuver from Staffy. But now Harley's going to join the battle. And it's going to be a wheel-to-wheel battle with Staffy. Going into turns 1 and 2. TK Tom could capitalise on this if it's a mess up. But Staffy takes the racing line and secures P9 fully. And now Alfie and Benke yet again battling. This has been a back and forth phone call between these two, and it is volatile. It is constant with these two. And Benke is looking for a reply. Benke looking at go on the inside and turn 11 but can't secure it. Next time is his again. These two back and forth like a married couple. And he's going to deploy his ERS and his DRS. And Benke looking for a spot overtake. He goes on the outside again. Going wheel to wheel into turn 1 and 2. Who's going to come out on top here? This is super clean racing. Benke comes out on top of P2. But as always, there is always a response from Alfie. The same with Benke. And now Alfie looking to respond. Staffy and TK Tom yet again battling. Staffy slightly off track there. Harley now takes P9 from Staffy. And Staffy, TK Tom takes P10. And now Staffy going for a risky maneuver, but Staffy will now cut the track entirely. And Staffy with a 3-second again. This will take him to 20 plus seconds, I believe. 23 seconds in penalties. We have the new angel. And Tango just slowly behind in P14. He had an amazing start to sprint and qualifying, but race paces fell short for Tango, unfortunately. Tango is just reserved for Tier 1. And it's been a while since he's been in Tier 1. But now Ugly is now looking for a response for a reverse. Ugly comfortably takes P7 and now will start to chase down Kempe if all goes well. But reverse is now cutting down the time again, and it's going to be wheel-to-wheel battle into turn 1 and 2. Very close for these two, and they're both going to turn in now. Super clean racing, but it looks to me that Ugly was trying to go for the switch up but couldn't angle the car correctly. Now Ugly chasing down reverse. And the gap between Benke and Alfie has now started to considerably go up. This will be due to tyre wear. But for now, we have Ugly and reverse. And reverse will spit up some dirt. Ugly is saying, this is mine, you're not allowed it. And these two almost racing as if they're in sync. CT Tango will go to P12. And Uge is still looking to respond. Going towards turn 8. The next time it's his, if this goes perfectly, extra verse gets a corner cut and warning. Just be careful. And now Ugle looking to respond, slowly but surely cutting down the time, and reverse will cut back in, saying, "You're not allowed it, this is mine, get off my lawn." But Ugle, not listening to the response, will now deploy RS and deploy DRS. And yet again, will this be a response from Ugle going wheel into turn 1 and 2? And it won't, unfortunately, just fall short. But now Ugle will, reverse will now slightly spin. Ugle is now going to catch grass on his wheel. And TK, Tom and Staffy yet again battling. And don't want to see any dive bombs from Staffy this time. And Staffy looking to respond to TK Tom. What good will it do? We don't know. And Staffy completely chasing TK Tom down like he's a rabid animal. Heavy on the brakes for these two. Staffy's still going to be within DRS range. And TK Tom heavily on the brakes. This is the final lap of the race. Go Sergeant first, Benke second, Gerv third, Alfie fourth, Ropek fifth, Kempe sixth. What an amazing race from Kempe. Reverse will now take P7 unless if there's a change of events. And reverse goes P7, Ugle goes P8, Harley will now be P9. Harley P9. Staffy P10. There's been an overtake last second, but what good is it going to do with his penalties? 20 seconds in penalties, taking him back down to P11. Tango will will be the next one to cross the line. And that was an amazing race from everyone that was involved. Absolutely fiery race at Monaco. Tier 1 round 11 Hyperdrive Racing League. Don't forget, if you join today, you can get your seat at Tier 2 in Hyperdrive. Season 3 has a lot more planned. We have started planning for Season 3. Your Sergeant will lift the trophy at Monza. Followed by Benke, and that'll be Legolas or Irv, one of the two. And these will be celebrating now